Ladies and gentlemen, we're very cross with you, for this is a Fred the Alien Productions podcast.
How rude, how rude.
How rude. So rude. Silly rude robots. Cue the music.
I don't know what we're yelling about! We came, we saw, we kicked its ass!
Wait a minute. Doc. Are you telling me you built a time machine? Kind of a DeLorean?
The way I see it, if you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it with some style?
Who is this? What's your operating number?
Boring conversation anyway.
Luke, we're gonna have company! Loud noises!
Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm a Kendall Richardson.
I'm a Fulya and
And I'm capping with the new drinky poos. I'm Michael Lister.
And you are now experiencing a podcast called Fred.
Yes, experiencing it through the medium of stereo. Double can. Double fisted.
Wow, he's double parked, double fisting. Michael Lister.
Yes. It's one of them
Yeah,
nights.
Hyped on a Sunday night.
Hyped
Back on a
night.
Sunday night. Yes. This is
that's why he's a pirate.
I'm a pirate, eh? As pirate.
Okay. Yes, welcome to the show, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Let's kick it off as we do each and every week with our weekly watchings. Take it away, Fulya, please.
Yes. So, continuing my watch through of MasterChef and, of course, Lego Masters Grandmasters of the Galaxy. I am all up to date, except today. Before the show, I started watching the first half of today's episode.
Almost.
I'm like,
yeah.
Because I'm like, oh my gosh, I could watch this whole episode, but then it's like, no, I have to be early for this and set up and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to miss out on some of it. So I thought I'll go as far as I can until I have to go. Got to the next commercial break at I think it was like 7:40, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Okay, no spoilers. I know what the build is because I'm pretty sure it's the Harry Potter episode.
It is the Harry Potter build.
been
Yes, that's
advertising
why
it
I was
all.
so excited about it, and I really wanted to continue watching it, but I had other plans. Yes, I'm going to end up having to finish that off tomorrow. Or maybe after the podcast. Who knows? I might finish it off after the podcast. It'll be up on 9 now by the time we're done. Yeah. So really looking forward to seeing who ends up getting eliminated, who gets through to the grand final. So that'll be cool. So at the time of recording, my Disney Plus subscription has now ended officially. I was this close to finishing Home Improvement. I was 6 episodes away from finishing it. Like the whole show.
Oh. You'll never know if he builds that car.
Yeah, that next hot rod. No, but it's fine. I will be reinstating it later this week. For a certain other thing that we're going to be talking about next week. So, yes, it's fine.
It's fine.
I can cope without Home Improvement for a few days. It's okay. But as I did want to watch something that wasn't a TV show yesterday, and I thought, let me see what's on Disney Plus before it all goes away for me for a little while. I ended up watching a musical that was put on to the subscription service, to the streaming service, and that's the Frozen Broadway musical, the filmed Broadway musical of Frozen. Because I wanted to see what the full adult version of the show was about because I actually worked on the junior version of the show. And the junior version is actually a lot shorter. It only goes for 90 minutes with the plus a 20-minute interval. Whereas I'm going to say the regular the stage musical, is I think about 2 hours, maybe 2.5. But obviously that includes the interval as well. Whereas in the actual filmed version on Disney Plus, they omit the break, but you know when the break is because then it says, end of Act 1. Here is Act 2. There's like a little, I don't know, maybe like 5 seconds in between, which is cool. And I realized that there was a lot that gets omitted in the junior version, because the regular version is like there's a lot more songs that I didn't hear originally, and it's actually really good. The Broadway musical version is really, really good. The staging is awesome, like the set, the performances, like the acting and all that sort of stuff. The costumes were amazing. I loved watching it from more of a critical kind of a person who's worked on a stage show before kind of a perspective, and being able to see where things happen. But when you do Broadway, you have a bigger budget, and so they get to do a lot more of the fun stuff that looks a lot better because they've got the bigger budget compared to community theater. Yeah. But what was cool is the way that they revealed Elsa's dress in the Broadway musical, from going from being Queen Elsa to being Ice Queen Elsa. And
Full
you sort
slay.
of notice, yeah.
Queen
and
slay.
you notice that the costume gets pulled away down into the floor. So when I did the junior version of the musical, we did it from like behind a curtain, essentially. So we went backwards, whereas they went down. But for whatever reason, the way that it got stripped down to reveal the Ice Princess kind of dress, it almost looked like it was a vacuum that kind of sucks it out, like sucks it off into the floor. It was really cool. It was a really cool effect. I actually kind of liked it. But it had me thinking about, my gosh, like, did they really, like, how did they set this up? And it had me like theorizing in my head so much. And that also included some of the other things as well that happened that's supposed to be magical. But it was like, just in general, like just watching it for the first time in full was actually really awesome. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. So definitely go check out Frozen, the Broadway musical on Disney Plus. It is good.
With the trying to work out the mechanics, it just reminds me of me and my sister, because we both went to see Beetlejuice, and we're trying to work out certain things. Yeah, doesn't help when you're in the industry and you're trying to watch theater, it to enjoy it. It's like, oh, how'd they do that? Wow.
My mind, my eyes will see things. I'll be like, oh, I wonder how they did that. Or sometimes I'll see how I'll work it out, and then I'll be like, that's how they did it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so that's pretty much all I've been watching this past week.
Cool. Nice. Yep. Thank you for sharing. Mike, what have you been watching?
Well, this week, still on my King of the Hill binge, and that's been going great. I'm really enjoying it. I'm so glad that I actually waited until I was an adult to actually watch this, because I get a lot more appreciation for the joke telling in this. There was There was one joke that it was a purpose pause just to get people to hurry up. It's Peggy got a trophy for a competitive boggle, and she's all excited and it's like, oh, it's got to be in with the other trophies. It's like, and Bobby just turns to Hank and it's like, Mum's trophy is bigger than yours. And there was a pregnant pause. It's like, I see what you did there. That's fun. Yeah. Rick and Morty. Another episode of Rick and Morty is good. It's quite interesting. It's I'm so glad that they don't really have much overarching narrative anymore. It's just every week is something. So I kind of like that they're going back to that sort of stuff because it was fun while they were like doing like deep lore or anything like that. But it's not really what originally what this show was about. It's just what people thought of. To say, oh, you need to be intelligent to get Rick and Morty, all the subtle hints. It's like, no, it's a stupid show, and it's always been a stupid show. It's just smart people doing stupid shit, basically. So, and that's good. Well, this week I've been within the sort of zombie sort of thing because I went to the. I'll start here and I'll work backwards. I went to the movies this week and I watched 28 Years Later.
Nice.
Yes. And to prepare for it, I watched 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. Consecutive nights. 28 Days Later, I haven't seen. I haven't seen any of them. It just swing past me, which is weird because I really enjoyed my zombie flicks like Shaun of the Dead, Zombieland, all these sort of second wave of zombie films in the 2000s up to now. And yeah, this 28 Days flew past me because it was very hard to find. And still is. I had to do things legally, not illegally. Yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, and 28 Weeks Later is on Netflix, so that helps. But the first one was good. I really enjoyed it. Of how it sort of sets you up for this world. It starts a bit like Walking Dead, where Cillian Murphy's character wakes up in a hospital and no one's around, and it's just cinematic like storytelling of this guy just waking up and just walking around and there's no one in central London, which is phenomenal of what they had to do to actually do that. And it's all filmed on these sort of handheld cameras, a sort of like grainy, like sort of almost film, fine film footage sort of thing, but still narratively driven. And I love the fact that they sort of harken back to that. It's all done by Danny Boyle, who also did Trainspotting, which I also liked. And in 28 Years Later, they actually filmed everything on iPhones, and that was great. And I really enjoyed the fact that the 28 years isn't a sort of direct sequel from 28 Weeks Later, because that was done by someone else, and it just had a tonal shift from the first one, and it sort of harkens back to like the first one, which is a sort of more of a direct sequel to 28 Days. And the fact that they actually sort of plonked yourself into like this post-apocalyptic world that is another like 2 decades away, almost 3 decades from 2002, and it's more to do with the like human suffrage and human life of what people have to do to survive, and it's all based upon like these group of people who find refuge on an island at like on the outskirts of the UK, and UK is like complete lockdown from the rest of the world because the outbreak happened, and they sort of and certain things splintered off, but they sort of contained it to this thing, and it was a really great film. I do recommend it for the cinematography of it, considering it's all filmed like on iPhones, and you can sort of tell, but they actually work with the limitations, and I actually quite like the fact that they actually like strong arm themselves to actually try and film it, and it's filmed very well. And they found a different sort of take on a zombie genre that sort of has overplayed itself in recent times, and it's setting up for a trilogy of movies. Like there's going to be another one in the start of next year, and there's going to be another one hopefully, and they say that Cillian Murphy's going to come back and play his character from the first one, which I can't wait. I mean, he's won his Oscar, and now he can do whatever the fuck he wants. So great. And yeah, it's sort of jarring in a way, and people it's sort of mixed reactions with it, but I don't mind because I like things that are a bit off kilter and sort of take you on for the ride, and it definitely was a fantastic journey that you sort of have, and it's quite emotional between this boy and his father and the people on this trying to survive, and that's essentially what it is. And yeah, I do recommend it for you, Kendall. I sort of recommend it for you, Fulya, but it is very violent. There are things that are violent and gory and nasty. But having said that, it's beautiful to watch. It's a real mixed bag, and I quite like it in that sort of way. I can't really give away too much because I went into it blind, and I do love that trailer that didn't give you anything. It's just amazing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say the internet seems to be having a reaction to a zombie private parts. I will
Yeah.
say.
I think if I have said that, if I could say that zombies aren't zombies in this, they're infected by a virus.
Well, Last of Us kind, but not obviously different kind of infection. But
yeah, it's not a living organism. It's basically if they essentially they try to take away people's rage, but the opposite happened. It's primal rage, like being switched on into people's lizard brain, and this is like the first time that, like 28 days later, is the first time we get to see running zombies, and that sort of discourse before Dawn of the Dead, before the remake of the Dawn of the Dead and Zack Snyder's that movie. I didn't like it, but and George Romero, the grandfather of like modern zombie movies, did come out and say I don't like running zombies because dead things don't run. And
mean-
that's what he said. Well, yeah. Like there's always a split down the middle where it's like, do you like running zombies? Do you like shambling zombies? And, you know, I'm sort of in the middle. It's like, yeah, it does work if
Yeah.
it's a different sort of take. Like Last of Us zombies are definitely a different take. It's an organism that's actually taking over a body, and that body is either living or dying. It's
Mhm.
yeah. Where this one, they're humans, and they've turned back to sort of like a primal like rage. And I do like in 28 years later, they actually expanded upon that, where what would happen if this disease or this strain is sort of mutated and that sort of way. So there's sort of an evolution of these things, and that sort of takes into the zombie private part sort of thing. It's like, well, when you're a spit of rage and everything like that, who needs clothes, basically? So they
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
run out of clothes. So it's very like animalistic sort of stuff. So yeah, I can understand. I can understand people have a bit of a like. There is. I don't want to spoil it.
No, don't
'Cause-
spoil it. Don't spoil
No,
it. It's fine.
no,
I'm
no.
gonna watch it. I'm
But I
definitely
can
gonna
sort
watch it.
of gathered why people are going, oh god, because this particular zombie, he's a big boy.
Apparently so.
It is a big boy with big parts. So yeah. But you know, after the first couple of seconds, you are not really aware of it because he's doing stuff. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's basically my week, and I enjoy it, and I definitely recommend it for both of you.
Excellent. Well, I'll definitely be watching it at some point.
Maybe through the fingers, Fulya, you know, in certain parts, and in
I think
certain
I'm good.
certain big parts.
No, it's fine.
Well, who knows?
Funny. Okay.
What about you, Kendall?
Yes. What about me?
What about
Yeah.
you?
What about you? Yeah, I watched a few things this week. I'll start with Lego Masters. Yeah, great, excellent, awesome. I was sad to see David and G go home.
Me too.
Yeah, tear,
Yeah.
all the tears. Yeah, that was disappointing to see them exit before finals week, but you know, it's a tough competition out there in the galaxy of Grandmasters. Yeah, but there's been some exceptional builds, and just I feel like with the overall, like with the exception of Team USA, I feel like every team, like there's never been one team that's kind of consistently up for elimination or in the bottom two. Like it's this competition is anyone's game. I honestly don't know who's gonna win, to be honest.
Yeah, neither do I.
I mean, I was talking to I guess I'll say a new friend. I met some of my partner's football friends last night at Marvel Stadium. And we were talking about Lego Masters at halftime. And
As you do.
yeah, as you do. And yeah, and he reckons Henry and Cade may take it out, but I'm not so sure just because they had a very, like I may have said last week, they had a very soft start to the contest. But they're
Yeah.
definitely finding their stride now. Like
Yeah, and not that I don't think this is a spoiler, but for today's episode, they're not very good at time management. I'm noticing.
can I just say though, the fact that they had to pivot their build twice last week and they freaking won. Like
Yeah.
they actually won. I'm like, I don't think that's ever happened in Lego Masters history. I don't think I've ever
Yeah.
seen someone who's had to redo their build, like hours in, losing all this time, and they fucking crushed it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but okay,
That's
but you're
yeah.
you're giving me a
Time
heads up for
management's not their strength. No.
their Harry Potter build doesn't seem to be off to a good start.
I mean, they're going all out
Yeah,
with
cool.
a certain build with their
Uh-huh.
build, and all I can say is when I had to stop watching, there was like I think 2 hours left in the build, and they still had a lot to do. Yeah,
Oh dear.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I'll leave it
okay.
at that.
All right. I don't know who's gonna win. To be honest, like I said, I think it's anyone's game.
I was gonna say, I think maybe Team Sweden has been doing
Sweden?
really well.
Yeah, my eye's definitely on Sweden for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe even Trent and Alex.
Trent and Alex could win. If they get to the finale, I'd really love to see what they do with 26 hours of build time.
Yeah. That's if that's
like
what they do.
whatever, yeah. But
Whatever the
on
final
average,
challenge is, yeah.
on average, they usually get over a day to build. But
Yeah.
anyway, and yeah, I'd be curious to see what they do. I don't know if they will take it out. I mean, I think China could be in with a shot as well. I think they've been consistently really, really good. And except for almost going home last week with their card build, it didn't work out too much. But yeah, that was I thought they were going home for sure because they had studs on top.
Yeah.
But then then Norway just didn't get the proportions right. So yeah, see, that's what all the contestants keep saying in their little interviews. Like just one little different bit of difference is all it takes.
Yeah. It's the
And you're
little
out.
details. Yeah.
Little details. Yeah. So it's fun. It's great. I'm sad that we're already in finals week.
I
Like,
know. It just went so
what the
quick.
hell? It went too fast. I really don't understand why they've condensed the show down to 4 weeks of
Yeah.
of programming. I don't know. Hopefully next season is twice as long. Same amount of teams, but just space it out. One elimination a week, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, how do you get so many weeks? I think you get like 2 or 3 months with MasterChef, and they do 2 eliminations per week. Sometimes they'll throw in a surprise elimination, or
Oh,
maybe they'll do a double, but like every week they get 4 episodes a week and they do 2 eliminations for that week.
yeah, right.
Yeah. It's insane.
That is insane. That is
Yeah.
insane.
These guys only get 3 episodes a week, and this season they decide, nah, it's going to be eliminations every bloody episode. And I'm like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah, I don't like it. I'm not a
Yeah.
fan. I'm not a fan
No.
of this model. So
No.
hopefully they get someone passes on the feedback and they don't do it again, but I don't know.
I still feel like it has something to do with the fact that the international teams, they just don't want to keep them here for too long.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
so,
probably right. Yeah, there's
yeah.
some legal
That visas and all that sort of stuff, like behind the scenes stuff. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Mm.
Anyway, it's still fun to watch.
Yeah, it is.
I still enjoy it. Speaking of not fun to watch, the other two things I watched are the opposite of fun. So I mean, this next one, depending on your point of view, could be fun. But I watched the Titan documentary about the Ocean Gate sub on Netflix. Yeah. That stuck with me for a good day after I finished that documentary. I was saying to my partner that I've I watch a lot of docos. Like I've told you guys this before. I like true stuff, true story stuff, and like especially crime stuff and things that like this whole thing was such a big weird case, a weird thing that happened a couple of years ago, and it's still very fresh. And Netflix has put together this documentary. It's just under 2 hours long. It's probably the only criticism I will have is that it is probably slightly too long. But apart from that, like, if you want to know all there is to know about what happened and the behind the scenes, then this is probably the definitive documentary for you to check out. Because they have a lot of footage. Basically, Ocean Gate filmed like so much stuff about the subs being built and just all their dives and everything that they managed to do before things went cataclysmically wrong. But yeah, that's all right. I was saying a thing. So yeah, I was saying to my partner, I've watched so many docos, and I never have ever had one of the people being interviewed at the beginning of their interview in the doco say, "I knew we were going to be here. I knew I was going to be sitting down for a documentary interview for this." Like, and I'm just like, that told me so much. I was kind of, oh, okay, we're in for a ride here. And then yeah, as you learn about Stockton Rush, the CEO, and his driven and egotistical nature, it was his way or the highway. And basically, I mean, say what you will, like, you could take the approach of, in hindsight, you can say it was an inevitable accident. But watching the doco, for me, I was just like, okay, this was going to, it was just a matter of when, really, like, that it was going to go wrong. Because, like, to his credit, like, they tried inventing a new type of submersible using carbon fiber shell, and because it's lighter and it's very strong, but the problem is it cannot withstand those depths, as we know now. Yeah, because it was just really eerie. There's scenes where, like, you go in, like, in the early stages of the sub's life before the disaster happened. You go in the sub with a camera as Stockton Rush goes down on a solo dive, and you can hear the carbon fibers snapping. And it is the most unsettling sound I think I've ever heard, because it's so dark in there. You're going, because you're obviously because you're going down super deep, no sun, right? But you only have the light of the sub outside, and you just hear the snapping of the fibers, and that's what eventually led to the implosion, because it just gave way, right? So yeah, that was scary to, like, hear. Yeah, and and the fact that they, like, they interviewed someone who was on the last successful. Well, it wasn't successful. He was supposed to go out. He would have actually been in the dive where it imploded if the weather conditions had been better. And they interviewed him, and he was like in shock, like that almost was me, So it was really tragic, and just morbidly fascinating just to learn. And they had the footage of the Coast Guard and a bunch of other organizations, I think, launched investigations, obviously, to determine who was at fault and the legal ramifications, and like you get to see the footage of all the people that have been, I don't know what the term is, but they're basically being, they're on a witness stand, sort of in a courtroom sort of situation, and being examined, interviewed and whatnot, and giving their testimony. And yeah, it's just, they were trying, the people that were working for Stockton Rush were trying to tell him, you can't do this. This is not safe. And he was jumping through red tape as well, and it was just, yeah. So yeah, it's really sad. It's really sad that what happened, and it could have been avoided. And yeah, because just the amount of people involved that, like, either were fired or quit because of the CEO refusing to see reason. It was just, so it was very frustrating to watch as well. But, and yeah, eerie. I was just like, I was really I was unsettled for a couple of days afterwards. But it was, if you're fascinated by that stuff, then I recommend giving it a watch. They actually haven't, the Coast Guard at the time of the doco's release, they actually haven't given a final verdict on everything. They haven't delivered their findings on the whole investigation yet, so which is nuts. But yeah, crazy shit. And then to switch to a fictional thing, but still in the messed up zone, I watched Adolescence on Netflix. Yeah, been meaning to watch this one for a while. I'm definitely late to the party. But yeah, that's another one that's just intense and brutal, and a masterclass in filmmaking, because each episode is made to look like a single take. So similar to 1917 sort of style, the way the camera follows the characters and everything as it unfolds and just seamlessly, goes from one bit to the next and stuff. So obviously there's some very good editing going on. I'm sure they filmed parts of it, without cutting, without breaking, but yeah, there are a lot of young actors involved in this one, because if you don't know, it's about a 13-year-old boy who's accused of murdering one of his classmates, a girl, a young girl, same age as him, and you kind of see everything unfolding in real time. Like, the episodes take place in real time again, because they're doing a single take through, and all 4 episodes, only 4 episodes, they're about an hour each long, but they all take place in different time periods over the course of the case, I guess. We never get to see the trial or sentencing or anything like that. They basically end it, spoilers, they end it before we get there, but I don't think that's really the point. I feel like if it was the point, they would have done the trial in the show, but it's really kind of, I don't know, it's really intimate, kind of close-up look at something awful like this transpiring, and also just a scary take on modern, culture in schools. I'm sure the UK is probably not too dissimilar from Australia. I mean, I hope it's not this bad here, but there's a lot of cyberbullying that they mention in the show, and toxic masculinity and incel culture, and it's a whole, it was really messed up. Yeah, but it was really good. And bloody Faye Marseille from Andor was in it. Vel Sartha was in this. She played a detective, and I was like, I know you. I've seen you in a Star Wars.
Sure.
Yeah, and I need to really shout out two people in this, performance wise, Stephen Graham and Owen Cooper, who play the father and son, the son in question of, the one who was accused of murder. Stephen Graham actually co-wrote and created the miniseries as well as starring in it. So hats off to him for doing all of that as well. Because it's incredible. It's really good. It's really good. And this kid, Owen Cooper, is definitely going to go places, because, my God. Episode 3 is literally, it's a two-hander. It's just him and the woman playing his assigned therapist while he's in, like, detention, awaiting trial, essentially. And it's just basically just the two of them for an hour. And, fuck, yeah. Yeah, I was kind of blown away. So, yeah, really good. It really tough subject matter. I cried at the end of the last episode, and Mike, if I cried, yeah, I don't know if the show is for you in terms of its.
I'm still plucking up the courage.
Yeah, it's worth a watch if you can get through it as a parent. Because the ending broke me.
Not just a parent.
It is. I mean, as a human being, right? Because it's a human story, and
and
we
also,
all have. we all have people we care about and loved ones and stuff, and you know, there's grieving going on here, and there's like, yeah, it's just you know.
Yeah. And also, I was a boy.
And you were a boy once.
I was a boy once.
Indeed.
And I
As
have
you
a
were.
boy.
Exactly. See, this, yeah. Yeah. Woo. Yeah.
I
but
cried
anyways,
at
it's
25 years later.
28 years later, really.
Yeah. It's the second zombie thing that made me cry.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. I'm gonna cry watching that movie too, probably.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Not spoil
maybe
it.
not. No, no spoilers. No spoilers. But anyway, so yeah. So from the super light shit to the really heavy stuff, that was my week of
Yeah.
watching things. So let's lift the mood a bit, shall we, and get on with the rest of the show. Starting with the nerdy news.
A bit too quick.
Sorry.
I'm not ready. And here we go.
This is the news in Nerdy News. The nerds that talk about the nerdy news. That is us who talk about the news that is nerdy. And now the queen of nerdydom, the hostess with mostest, Kendall Richardson. Take it away, Kendall.
Okay, it's nerdy news time, and we only have one thing worth talking about this week. And this is pretty exciting and interesting. Because it was announced this week that the Punisher, Frank Castle, will be appearing in Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Damn it! Now I have to go and watch the show.
I'm like, yes, this is how we get Fulya into Daredevil. Everything else.
No.
And you have to watch
Yes.
Daredevil, the TV show, too.
Yeah.
Ah.
No, not the movie. Don't watch the movies. Just watch the shows.
No,
So
watch all the
much.
movies. All 5 of them, I think.
There's a bunch. But yes. John Bernthal is going to be reprising his role as Frank Castle. Because
Cousin
obviously
Mike?
as Mike, yeah. No, that comes later. Anyway, bear references, everyone. Yes. Brand New Day. Spider-Man 4 is going into production very soon, filming very soon. And this is really interesting considering, I mean, it's great to see, one of the, again, I mean, this is not going to be the first time one of the Daredevil Netflix shows has kind of made an appearance in the MCU, because as we know, Charlie Cox has appeared as Matt Murdock, Daredevil, in both Spider-Man No Way Home and She-Hulk. Yeah. She-Hulk. So, and he fit in very well. You know, as we know, Daredevil's a much more violent show than what the standard fare of MCU cinema watching is. And Punisher is probably even more violent than Daredevil. So, hopefully is covering her eyes. Yeah. Get ready for blood. But anyway, he in this, I imagine, is not going to be on that level. So fear not. But
Cowards.
it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see how he connects. I mean, obviously they're going to be doing some sort of street level story, I think. Which is great. We want to see a Spider-Man on the streets of New York. Web slinging around Manhattan. So hopefully it will be good. I'm sure it will be good. I have no doubts. Tom Holland's returning. And also, I can't remember if we talked about this. We probably didn't. Don't always talk about casting news, but as I was reading up about this, speaking of the Bear, Liza Colin-Zayas, who's in The Bear, she was recently up for some awards for her performance in the last season. She is going to be in the movie, and people are speculating she's going to be playing Rio Morales.
Hmm.
And I'm fucking co-signing that casting choice. If that's, I mean, she's a great actress, so whoever she plays, she's going to be phenomenal. But if she's Rio, mwah, chef's kiss.
Hmm.
Chef's
And we do
fucking
know
kiss.
Miles is in this universe.
We do.
Thank
That's
you, Danny.
exactly right. Yes, thanks. Yes. But anyway, so I'm excited for this. This is going to be fun. To see. I look forward to seeing what nickname Frank Castle will give Peter Parker. Shall we take bets now on what the nickname will be?
Little
I don't
Red.
know. Little Red.
Itsy
For
bitsy spider.
Yeah, for context, he calls Daredevil Red in the show. Itsy Bitsy Spider, that's cool. Or
Itsy Bitsy.
Spider Boy or Web Kid. I don't know. It's lame now.
Skid Mark.
Skid Mark.
Let's do that.
Fulya, I know you're lamenting the possibility of having to potentially dive in to the darker, more violent side of the MCU now, as it is all inclusive.
Yes.
But what do you make of John Bernthal being cast here in Brand New Day?
Well, it's cool that they're keeping like the same actor canon in their version of the Punisher is canon within the MCU in this particular universe specifically, and I'm happy that he's getting some more work because I think didn't the Punisher kind of end abruptly in some way, or did they have a natural ending?
I never saw season 2, but where he's appeared post season 2 in stuff. So, for example, in Daredevil Born Again. So
His most recent, yeah.
That's his most recent appearance, and yeah, he was in a state when we found him. So I'm guessing some shit went down at the end of season 2. But I haven't watched it actually. I've only seen the first season, so
Okay.
I should go back and I need to go back and watch all of those.
Go back.
Finish it. Go back, because I went back and watched Daredevil season 3 and fucking loved it. So I really should go back and finish everything else.
Now Jessica Jones is going to be in Daredevil.
Yeah.
Too.
Oh, stop!
Yeah, she's coming back.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have to watch every single one of them.
There's references to Luke Cage in Born Again as well.
Oh, was there? Remind me.
Yeah, there's like a poster for the thing that he did. Yeah, he became the new mayor of Harlem, maybe.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and yeah, it's all connected. Keep up, Fulya.
All connected.
I'm just gonna claim ignorance and not watch them.
That's all right. I don't. I think they're going to take a bet that not many people are going to be up to date with it and just say, "Hey, this is the Punisher." He's clearly the Punisher because he's got his skull on his belly.
Yeah,
I think at some point, if I feel like I want to go back, I will. But I just feel with those the style of the show is just all of them is not what I would generally go out of my way to watch.
Yeah.
So
I feel like though, out of all of them, Jessica Jones would be the one you would be able to stomach the most because there's like there's a detective aspect to it. David Tennant's fucking excellent in the first season. And yeah, and it's a female superhero. What more could you ask for? But yeah, it's not as violent as the other shows, I will say. But there's definitely some tough subject matter going on. But it's good. I think you would be able to watch Jessica Jones at least. Michael agrees. There's some sex, yeah.
But that's sexy time.
There's some sexy times.
Everyone fucks everyone in there. Night Nurse gets around.
Night Nurse does get around. Great.
She needs to go back.
She does. She's too busy being Ahsoka now. So
It is.
yes. All right, Mike.
Yo.
What are your thoughts on the Punisher teaming up with Spider-Man?
I'm happy because I'm one of the few that wants a street level Spider-Man story. Considering his first outing was Civil War, and then he fights big purple dude in space.
Yeah.
Space.
Splice.
And multiverse sort of stuff. So I'm glad that they're hearing people. It's like, yes, you've had your stuff. Now let's see Spider-Man at his best and being street level stuff. And this is sort of a key into it. And there's also, I don't know if it's rumor or it's confirmed that Mark Ruffalo is going to be Hulk in this as well. So that's going to be interesting as well. Yeah, and also I think Ned and MJ is going to do like brief stuff in it, not necessarily focused on them. So yeah, I'm all for this, and Punisher's fun in a weird way, morally bankrupt, but it's fun, and especially after Born Again, which I'm so glad that they went back to reshape it, because before Punisher wasn't going to be in it. Bernthal didn't want to do it because he didn't like the direction of what they were going to do, and so they came back and say, "Hey, do you want to do this? It's changed up." It's like, yeah, I'll do it. And after that, he's going to get a special, what do they call them now? Like a Marvel special preview thing.
Like what the Werewolf by Night thing was.
Yeah. The Punisher's going to get one.
Special presentation.
Special presentation, yeah. It is special. And yeah, so he's coming for that, and he's going to be in a movie. When you wait,
yeah,
you get given good stuff. Because I think Kingpin, people wanting Kingpin, but unfortunately the rights is in a weird situation where they can use him in a TV show, but they can't use him in a movie. And Spider-Man can only be done in movie form because of the Sony deal. And yeah, just rights and so many stupid rights. Can everything be for free? You know what? Screw it. Balaclava's on, people. Let's steal some stuff. Yeah. So I'm really happy. I'm really happy of just cross pollination, and yeah, unfortunately they're going to turn down the sort of violent things, but you know, just get one decapitation.
Everybody gets one.
Yeah. Yeah. And Punisher,
Christ.
I think the first time Punisher debuted was in a Spider-Man comic, if I'm not mistaken. So there you go. And he's running around Queens as well, so up for that.
Hell yeah. We are.
So when's this movie coming out,
Alright.
Kendall?
Yes, well, I may have the release date at hand. One memento. It's next year.
Yeah.
Because of the reshuffle, it's now coming out before Avengers Doomsday, which is great. But yes, Spider-Man Brand New Day will be opening in theaters on the 31st of July, 2026, which might actually be Fulya's birthday by Australian release date time, if I'm not
Yay.
mistaken.
My birthday's on the 30th, but I'll still take it.
I know that's what I said. Okay, I probably didn't word it very well. Yes. Okay. So yes. So in
As
Australia,
in the, like, day-wise?
okay. Let me explain.
Yes,
So in America, movies come out on Fridays. So and that is a thing that I'm aware of because I'm a movie freak. 31st of July next year is a Friday, so I was trying to explain very poorly that it will be coming out on your birthday because in Australia, movies come out on Thursdays, and the 30th is a Thursday next year, and I'm going to drop the microphone and end the podcast.
It's all right. You were reading and talking at the same time. We've all been there.
I just probably should have explained myself better. It's fine.
It's okay.
Let's carry on. The nerdy news is done, and
Yes.
we're gonna roll on up to the trailer park.
Fingers on the button this time.
Rolling up to the trailer park where we all park all the trailers. Yeah.
Okay, trailer park time. We've got an interesting selection this week, starting with our first trailer for the upcoming Bruce Springsteen biopic, aka The Bear Season 5. It's called Springsteen Deliver Me from Nowhere.
No, the boss.
The boss. It's not the bear, it's the boss. Yes, Deliver Me from Nowhere. So this is based on a book of the same name. And it looks like it's kind of taking sort of similar to a Complete Unknown approach, where they're kind of just, they're not doing the entirety of Bruce's life. They're just kind of doing a snapshot sort of thing, albeit the snapshot of Dylan's life was kind of over the course of a few, let's call it a few years. Maybe this is going to be the same. Anyway, it's not going to be like Bohemian Rhapsody or Rocket Man, where it's taking place over 10 plus years, 20 years, whatever. But yeah, he's an established artist already. People know he's famous, know who he is. I loved that opening scene in this trailer where the car salesman's like, I know who you are, and then Bruce is answering is like, well, what did he say? Like, that makes one of us, or something to the effect. Like, you know, indicating he's clearly at a weird point in his life, and he's trying to figure things out. And that's kind of cool. I mean, I don't really know much about Bruce other than obviously the incredible songwriter and storyteller that he is, musician. You know, he's a legend, a living legend, thankfully. So yeah, and it's really cool to see Jeremy Allen White finally in action as the boss. I meant to look up if it's actually him singing in the trailer, because at the end it really sounded very close to Bruce. So I don't know if it's I'm gonna quickly Google it. I type into Google, is Jeremy Allen White, and then it autofills related to Gene Wilder. Interesting. He does look like him a bit. But does he sing? Google II gave me no answers. But anyway, regardless, the trailer looks great. It looks fun. It looks, you know, like a very craftily, skilled made biopic. And might be an intimate look at him. But yeah, I'm gonna research to see if he's actually singing, and I'm gonna throw to Fulya. But yeah, I really like this trailer, and I'm really excited to see the movie. So, okay, apparently he does sing in the film. There you go, I found it. Hey.
Bruce or
Jeremy Allen White sings in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there you go. I look forward to more of that as we go. Fulya, what did you think of the first trailer for Deliver Me from Nowhere?
It looks really interesting. I feel like we're kind of in an era of biopics for musicians.
Each
Yeah,
year,
we are.
Yeah. It's like every year we get one or two.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I feel like because the Michael Jackson biopic was supposed to come out at around this time, and I feel like now they delayed it to get out of the way of this one.
Right. Okay.
Which it didn't occur to me until today. I'm like, oh, that's why. Also, they might be splitting that into two parts, so we might actually be getting two biopics about the one person. But anyway, continue. That's me and my MJ brain. Go on.
No, all good. Yeah, look, it looks interesting. I've never really been a Bruce Springsteen fan myself. Like, I don't think I've gone out of my way to look up songs that he has, you know, sung or produced. And yeah, like I don't know if I'll get much out of it myself specifically, just because I'm not much of a fan. But I mean, I had a feeling like as the trailer was playing, I'm like, is that the guy from The Bear? Because I couldn't think of his name, and when I was watching it, I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's him. And then yeah, when I saw the IMDb list, I'm like, okay, that makes sense, because he really did look the part. It looked really cool. So yeah, it looks like it's also going to be more of a drama piece as well. Just because a lot of stuff must have happened in his life that kind of built him, that made him who he is today. So yeah, that's really interesting. So yeah, I don't know that I'd be going out of my way to watch this particular biopic, but it's cool that it's out there.
Yeah, for sure. There's going to be a lot of people who will get great value out of this one, I think. And
yeah.
It'll probably be front and center at the Oscars next year, I reckon. But we'll see. Mike, what do you make of this? Are you a Springsteen fan? Does this excite you?
I'm not a fan in the sense of I know every single song or any of his songs. I mean, Born in the USA is probably the biggest one that I know. And he's a New Jersey boy because Kevin Smith always talks about him.
This is true.
And he's the boss. And yeah. And that's basically it that I know. So, will I watch this? Probably not. But it's always for someone other than yourself. And that's always good. The boss. Can't really add too much to that. But it's a very good biopic. If it's going to be a snapshot. I think they probably try and... I think with these biopics of artists, they need to try and find their own sort of unique formulae and their own gimmick. And if it's going to be just a snapshot, really good, that's good, because we've seen the sort of biopic of From Birth to Death or anything like that, and Bruce is still alive, so it doesn't really make sense. And yeah, we had the Pharrell Williams.
Yeah. His piece by piece Lego.
Yeah, that
movie.
one, the Lego one, which I mean, I don't know anything about him. Not my cup of tea. Nah, not really. But not my demographic. But I would go see that because of the Lego shit. and I can't glaze too much. I can't glaze enough of the Weird Al biopic of how good that is. And thank God that came out, because otherwise we wouldn't have our next film. But when is this film coming out?
Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere will be in theaters in the States, at least, on the 24th of October. No release date yet for Australia, but likely around the same time. All right, our next trailer is at last our first full trailer for the reboot, if you want to call it that, I suppose. Remake of The Naked Gun, starring Liam Neeson as Frank Drebin of Police Squad. I'm on the fence now. I mean, this kind
now
of...
that you've seen the full trailer.
Now that I've seen the full trailer, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not really a big fan of Naked Gun as is. I love Leslie Nielsen, don't get me wrong. He was legendary, so funny. But I don't go out of my way to watch the Naked Gun movies. Like, I don't just sit down one and go, oh yeah, hell yeah, I'm gonna watch this. It's like if it's on TV or whatever and I catch it, I'm like, oh yeah, it's funny, I'll watch it. But like I say, all that is to say really that this kind of, for better or for worse, depending on your take, I think this is kind of evoking sort of that old school 90s comedy vibe, I think. Like, it seems very silly, and I know that's kind of what they're going for. Like, that's the whole Naked Gun thing, right? Like, it's just outrageous. It doesn't make sense, but it's very funny and zany, and there's physical comedy and practical, like, cool use of practical. Like, I love that the classic cliche of the silhouette. Um, that joke gets used a lot, obviously.
Austin Powers.
Yeah, I literally actually watched, funny you say that, I literally watched that like a few days ago, or last week, Spy Who Shagged Me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, all the time, it gets, that shit, it's a good trope, but yeah. So yeah, I don't know, like, there was one, I will say, just all of that as well is so funny that I'm like, I'm not sure. I was actually cackling at one point when when he says to the other cop, I think it's another cop or some guy or whatever, he says, man's laughter. and then it's like, you mean manslaughter? I'm like, oh, it mustn't have been a funny joke or whatever he said, or it must have been really funny.
He's probably, was that the scene where he's interrogating someone?
Maybe that's what it was.
It might have been that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
Years in jail for man's laughter.
Man's laughter. That was fucking good because, you know, as a language sort of person myself, and I like words and stuff, and I noticed. I think the first time I noticed was like, I think it was The Dark Knight. Like, on the side of the truck, there's like slaughter and like laughter and the whole, like, and so I'm like, oh, laughter is in. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So having that reference here from my brain, anyway, tickled me quite a bit. I thought it was very funny. But yeah, Pamela Anderson though, big up from me. Cool to see her doing some comedy, and you know, her career, you know, is obviously back on track, and you know, she's living her best life, and I'm very happy for her. So she looks like she's having a good time, and I think she's kind of the perfect casting choice for a movie like this, considering The Naked Gun is kind of from the era where Pam was huge because of Baywatch and everything, and the fact that it kind of is still evoking that, like, to have someone kind of from that era as the leading lady, I think it kind of, maybe that's adding to the nostalgia of it. I don't know, but yeah. So I'm on the fence, but maybe I am leaning towards watching this one. But it's the trailer was poorly edited together, though. I will critique it in that sense. There was some bad ADR and slapping together of scenes to make it look like a character's saying something that they're definitely not saying in that moment. But hey, it's Hollywood. They're going to do what they want. Fulya, what did you think of the Naked Gun trailer? I know you like some comedy, so does this kind of take your fancy, or what do you reckon?
I did not laugh at all watching this. I am not even sorry. Like, the comedy in this particular movie, it just did not hit me at all. I was not entertained watching it. And it's not something I'm going to go out of my way. I don't know. I think it was like, if it was kind of borderline cheesy, it would have been okay, but this has gone beyond borderline. It's like way over the line of cheesy, and I couldn't. I'm not a big fan of this. I don't think I've actually watched the Naked Gun, the original Naked Gun movies. I'm pretty sure my dad has, and he would definitely have a laugh watching this one for sure. But yeah, nah, I don't know. I feel like if I watch the originals, I'll probably have a better time. But this one just went overboard with a lot of the stuff that was happening in there. And I'm just like, nah, not for me. I'm good. I won't be seeing this one.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Mike, what did you think?
Yeah, it was a bit of fun. Well, I didn't even laugh at the, please, take a seat. Okay. Drags it.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny.
No. Nah, not even a titter.
No.
Nope. Okay.
Straight face the whole way.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, sort of like it's not like it's the sort of comedy that me and Phil do, but it's okay.
No, look, I'll laugh at the stuff you guys do, but this just was a bit too much.
Okay. So no Zucker films, no airplane, or flying high in Australia. No. Okay. I thought I had some chuckles. I mean, it wasn't balls to the wall funny, but I can see what they're doing, and I do like witty wordplay, especially for spelling. Probably my favorite one is I'm going to see The Rapist. What? The Rapist. Therapist. No funny from Fulya? No? Okay. You're not on mute, are you?
I am. I'm just shaking my head.
So you were laughing, but I couldn't hear it. Okay.
No, I'm not
I'll tell
laughing at
No,
all.
I'm telling myself that so I could feel better.
No.
No, that's all right. It's not everyone's cup of tea. I mean,
yeah.
But I do have like certain grievances. I mean, I thought Pam Anderson was a good addition, and not every joke landed. I mean, the previous teaser, the last bit was my favorite bit of them making reference to, O.J. Simpson was in the original stuff, and they had to say something about it. So, so I will be watching this. Maybe date film with the wife. Don't know. Need to sit down and watch the originals with her, because I don't think she's seen any of them. But I did show her some clips of it, and she thought it was funny. So when's this coming out?
Nice. The Naked Gun will be in theaters on the 31st of July here in Australia. Yes.
So soon.
So not a sort of birthday present for Fulya this year.
She'll want her money back.
Yeah, she will want her money
Did you keep
back.
the receipt?
I won't even look. I'm not gonna pay any money for it, so it's fine.
That's all right. I'll just buy the 4K version of it and give it to you for your birthday next year.
Gee, thanks. Regift.
How dare you?
I'll give it to my dad. He'll enjoy it more.
That's
still in the family.
I'll get personally signed by Liam Neeson.
Oh, no.
Anyway,
my favorite
yes.
Jedi.
Speaking of movies Fulya won't watch, our third trailer.
Great week of trailers.
I adore you, Fulya. I'm sorry. There's nothing else. I try for you.
Honestly, I was going to say before we started recording, was there really nothing else for trailers this week? Like, really?
No. They really wasn't, but it's good content.
It's
so
okay.
It's
okay.
Fine. It's fine. All right, let's get through this last trailer. This is a full trailer for the remake of Troma's The Toxic Avenger. This has been in the works for a while. So I think we've actually talked. I feel like we've talked about there may have been a teaser for this a while ago. I feel like we talked about it, or we talked about something to do with it. So I remember talking about how Elijah Wood looks like Grima Wormtongue in this movie, which just tickles me. But anyway, yeah. Good to see a full trailer. I would actually watch this over The Naked Gun, to be honest, if I had to choose. but I don't even know if I will watch this. But it looks fun. Like I was cackling at the amount of violence in this. I was just like, oh yes, let's take off some heads with explosions.
You were cackling.
I was cackling. Look, there may be something wrong with my brain. I don't know if I've mentioned this. Anyway, it looks fun. It looks silly. Peter Dinklage is the titular character here, and they've done a really good job with the makeup effect on him. He looks awesome. They haven't really, I mean, at least to my knowledge, they haven't used any kind of CG. It's all practical makeup effects, prosthetics. He looks great. And it looks fun. It's colorful. It's bright, and it's weird. And Kevin Bacon's also being some sort of unhinged villain too, so that's also a good time.
Like he was in Moon Knight.
No.
He wasn't in Moon Knight?
No. That was Ethan Hawke.
Ah, same thing.
But they do look very similar. I will give you I will absolutely give you that. Absolutely give you that.
I know the difference. I'm making
yeah. Okay. Thank you for explaining to me. I'm tired. Yes. So it looks good. It looks fun. It looks I've never seen the original. I don't think I've watched any Troma stuff at all. We used to sell the DVDs at work many years ago. So I'll be interested to see if this movie kickstarts an interest in Troma again and we get some reissues. They're probably due for a 4K release, to be honest, of some of them. But yeah, it was a cool trailer. It was fun. That's all I can say. So I'm interested. I'll say I'm interested. I liked it. Do I dare throw to Fulia?
You could.
Tell us what your favorite bit was.
Yeah. Did you like the eyeball coming towards the camera? Did you like the blood?
I knew it was coming. I closed my eyes.
Amazing. I'm sorry.
I did not like this trailer at all. I'm sorry. Nope. I'm good. Over to you, Michael.
Yes. What do you think? What do you think, Mike?
Same as you. Bit of fun. Like stupid, bloody, just disgusting and fun. My brain is broken like yours, and I haven't seen the Toxic Avenger, but from Trauma, but I have seen Romeo and Juliet, because James Gunn was part of that, so that's a bit of fun. And also, technically, Cannibal the Musical was a Trauma release, even though it was mostly filmed by Trey Parker.
Okay, there you go. I have seen a Trauma. I've seen Cannibal the Musical. So.
There you go. Distributed by Trauma. Yes. And yeah, this was in release hell for a couple of years. Like, technically this is a 2023 film, but trying to find a distributor was hard because no one wanted to release it, because for very obvious reasons. But come on, it's a stacked cast. I mean, you got Peter Dinklage and you got Kevin Bacon, Elijah Wood. Is it Kevin Bacon and Elijah Wood, or is it Ethan Hawke and Daniel Radcliffe? I don't know. Elijah Wood and Radcliffe look the same. Anyway,
it's probably explains why I had a crush on them both at the same time in 2002. So, ooh.
Boy Wizard,
and a Hobbit
guy, Hobbit guy. I like. You know what they say about big feet, hairy feet. Anyway,
oh boy.
Yeah, I would actually go watch this. How? And when? Fully. Kendall, sorry.
Toxic Avenger is does not have an Australian release date, unfortunately, at this time. But in the States, it will be in theaters on the 29th of August. Pretty soon. Pretty soon. Okay.
Nice.
That's Trailer Park. We're done.
That is.
We're rolling out. And that means it's
What?
time for the moment, the
Yes.
segment,
I
the
got
section,
I got
the
so much
wibbly,
crap on my desk.
the wobbly,
Yeah,
the
there we go.
timey, and the wimey. It's time
Wee.
for
Wee. Wee. Wee.
Popcorn culture.
Woo.
yes, Talking Who.
Talking who? Hey, talking who?
Yes, we are Talking Who. It's this week. It's series 7, episode 2. Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, which is just a great title because it just reads like a working title of a
Yeah.
of a manuscript or something, and it's the title of the episode. It's great. Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. I mean, it is what it's what it is on the tin, like, you know what it says on the tin. That's exactly what you're getting. My thoughts on this, overall, I enjoyed it for what it was. It was fun, you know. It was just, it's like early season. Look at what we can do with our CGI, and he's sort of a popcorn adventure, sort of. You know, the Doctor's got more than just Amy and Rory with him at this point, for this particular story, and you know, we've got some recognizable faces in the cast as well, which was cool to see. And yeah, it went a bit all over the place for me, to the point where I had to, I don't know, maybe it's because I have not had enough sleep, but it's probably that. But I had to read back afterwards. I'm like, oh, we're here. Okay, right. There's just a lot going on in terms of, in the beginning of the episode, I wasn't ready for the zigzagging around through time and space. But that's okay. No, it was great. I really love Matt Smith's performance. I mean, you know, we praise his performance a lot on the show, and it's you know, worthy praise. I liked him in this episode a lot. I liked pretty much everybody. Yeah, it was fun. It was good. Definitely better episodes of Doctor Who, I guess. But you know, for what it is, I think it's simple and enjoyable. I don't really have that much wrong with it. So I'll be curious to hear what you guys think, having the both of you having seen this before. So Fulya, take us through your thoughts on your rewatch of Dinosaurs on a Spaceship.
Yeah. So this was, I would say, probably just, you know, some good fun, but there's also a lot of like heavy sort of topics that are being mentioned in this a little bit, including like genocide and all that sort of stuff. So, but you know, overall, it was good fun because we got to see, you know, Rory's dad be introduced to the timey-wimey stuff, and played by none other by the Weasley dad, Mark Williams. he's so awesome. I love him. He's really cool. He does comedy very well. And yeah, the fact that, you know, he, especially seeing him kind of like go from being in shock to being into it throughout this whole episode was a really cool little sort of arc for him. I really like that. But we'll get into that later on. But yeah, just overall, it was really interesting to see. This was like another kind of family outing. And we get to see other characters join along with the gang, as the Doctor called it. This is my gang. And then, yeah, just also, you know, seeing David Bradley being a villain in this was also really interesting. So, yeah, this was a good episode. little bit of spiciness to start off with Queen Nefertiti. With this Queen Nefertiti and the Doctor. But yeah, no, this was I really enjoyed this episode.
Awesome. I'm very glad to hear that. Mike, did you enjoy this episode of Doctor Who?
When it came out, no, not really. I was sort of like the same as you, Kendall, with Space Babies. And when we were talking about Space Babies, it's like sometimes you do have like those sort of crazy idea Doctor Who episodes. And so I'm a little bit less like harsh to Space Babies because we got episodes like this. And after watching this, I'm sort of grown more attached. Well, not attached, more warm to it, as it were. Because it is a bit of fun of what it is. It's a big space romp with dinosaurs, and the people who are in it are also fun. Written by the one and only Chris Chibnall. So it has all these hallmarks of stuffing it with so much stuff and not letting it breathe. Not much to do with dinosaurs, but there you go. And just some fantastic, just a fantastic adventure, and just for one episode. So it was a bit of fun. And also a good outing for the Doctor. We get to see all his. This is where Matt Smith like shines, of having so much fun. Very, very good like one-liners, and also seeing the juxtaposition of his Doctor of having fun, but also being menacing and just cold and like certain interesting choices that they have is sort of questionable as well. So it's a very huge mixed bag, and I would recommend this for someone who's a new Whovian and say seen a couple of episodes. Like, this is sort of like the fun stuff with Doctor Who that you can do, and I did enjoy it. Not my favorite, but it is enjoyable.
Yep, that's fair. I echo that sentiment for sure. Cool. So basically, the premise is, the Doctor gets a note on his psychic paper, which is something I don't think that's used that often as a communication device. Is it? I think I've seen it happen before, but it's not really. It's not really often something that they go to with the psychic paper, is it?
Sometimes, yeah. I remember there was a 10th Doctor episode doing that.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
It's saying, help me, or something.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Yeah. Cool to see that here, and the Doctor's, summoned away to the 24th century to the Indian Space Agency, who are telling him that there is a ship headed to Earth that they believe is unmanned, and it is on a collision course and needs to be stopped. And the Doctor decides to intervene to hopefully, just see if he can save anyone that's on board, and obviously save the Earth from being impacted. But yeah, I kind of like the idea. I will say, I want to talk about the Doctor's gang a bit. To start, I really kind of liked him having a gang, as you mentioned, Fulya, and he seems so happy too. It's like, I've got a gang, He's just very joyful. And it's just interesting that he kind of does it, on his own terms of unless it's something to do with the fact that, obviously Amy and Rory aren't permanent fixtures on the TARDIS at this present time, because we get the knowledge that it's been 10 months since the last time they were on. So some time has gone past. but I like I like the idea that he's just, oh, I'm just gonna go get a couple of people to to help me with this. And yeah, Nefertiti was cool. I bumped up against it initially, and then realized that, well, she actually did disappear in real human history around the time that the Doctor actually pulled her out. Like when she, stows away in the TARDIS, I guess. Um, so that's kind of fun. The way, obviously we see her story ending at the end of the episode. But I liked her as sort of this, they kind of lent into the whole badass queen sort of vibe that I believe she was known to have. Maybe like she's probably the most, like, when you think of queens of Egypt in like ancient Egypt, you think Nefertiti straight away. So yeah, I think they did a really good job with her. I thought she was just a lot of fun, and her banter with John Riddle was fun, and with just, I mean, everything was great. I mean, she definitely fell into that trope of you know I'm a woman, and I may be strong and independent, but you're going to sexualize the fuck out of me because I want to bone all the men in my vicinity. Anyway, it was 2012. Yeah, so she was cool, and John Riddle was fun as well. I wanted to see if he was like a real person as well, but apparently not. A fictional game hunter. I
Didn't make
love.
the cut.
Yes, no, that's right. I did read into it. But yes, I love to see Rupert Graves. Of course, around this time he was on Sherlock, which is Moffat's other show. That was on back then in 2012. So yeah, he's having a lot of fun here. I think that was really cool. And yeah, and then, as you've already mentioned, Fulya, Brian Williams, Rory's dad, just stellar. So stellar. I was very, very pleased with his introduction. The way the Doctor just materialized around them while they were, mid globe change, and then it has to be repeated to the Doctor more than once. Like Rory be like, "You materialized around us," like, because he's like, "Why did you bring him here? Excuse, who the hell?" That was a very funny gag. I loved that. I thought it was so funny. But yeah, Brian over the course of the episode for me was just great. In terms of just, yeah, like you said, Fulia, his comedic skill. Mark is obviously very funny in the Harry Potter films as well, which is where most of us know him from. So cool to see him. Cool to see him here playing a father, but playing a little differently, and you can see sort of how him and Rory would be father and son. I think they did that really well, and the fact that it gets to kind of climax with the two of them controlling the spaceship because they share the same genes. I thought that was clever.
Conveniently.
Conveniently, yes. But yeah, I loved, yeah. I feel like I'm forgetting other things I wanted to say about Brian, but perhaps they'll come to me at some point. But yeah, the whole gang vibe was good, and splitting them off into threes was good, like, as well, to have Amy sort of leading. What did what did the Doctor call her? Neffy? Is it Neffy?
Yeah, I think it's Neffy.
Neffy was the nickname, and
Otherwise, it would be Titi.
oh boy, that's too Moffat. If not Moffat wrote the episode, maybe that's what she would have been called. Anyway,
a little bit of influence. I think that ball gag was probably an influence.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was for a second I was like, I'm sorry. We're doing that kind of joke in Doctor Who. Okay. Great. But yeah, I really loved the scenes on the beach, I think, with Brian, Rory, and the Doctor. I think those were excellent. That was one of my favorite sequences of the whole episode. Fulia, what did you think of the Doctor's gang? How did they work for you?
Yeah, it was nice to see like a bigger team this time around, like more than just the one or two that we usually get. This time we had six. So this was actually a really good team of people that the Doctor kind of scrounged together as quickly as he could. And I liked it. I liked the dynamics that they all had together. Um, Queen Nefertiti just being the strong woman that she is, um, but also just being very flirtatious too. And then I think I agree with you, Kendall, in the sense that I loved the scenes with the Doctor and the Williams family.
The Ponds.
Yeah.
Well, the dad's
Brian
not a pond. He's
I'm
like,
not a
I'm
pond.
not a pond.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, that was funny. I'm not a pond. Brilliant.
Yeah, I loved those three together when they were out on the beach, seeing, oh my gosh, seeing Brian being all, are they pterodactyls? Wait, what did he say? No, he asked if they were gestrels first. So like, are they
Kestrels, yeah.
Kestrels? And the Doctor's just like, let's hope so.
Yeah, and then when they get closer, doesn't he say something about how like and the creatures that are definitely not kestrels, or something to that effect. Yeah, the non-kestrels.
We're in danger.
We're in danger. Yeah.
Run! No, they were hilarious. Just seeing those three sort of just act to perform together, it was very entertaining. And then getting to see the dynamic between Amy, Nefertiti, and John, and seeing those three like do their thing as well, trying to figure things out. Like seeing Amy being the sort of the team leader of those three, and going around saying and mentioning that there has to be a button to press somewhere, and then she'll start pressing buttons, and then the other two are like, how did you know to do that? And Amy's response was more along the lines of like, watching the Doctor do his thing, I've learnt that if I press a button, something's gonna happen.
And I've got plot armor.
I mean, yeah, and she's got plot armor. Yeah.
Yeah, and and the fact that she's claiming that she's better than the other two in some respect. But yeah, no, it was interesting to see them all kind of work in their own little smaller teams, but then when they came back together, it was still great as well. So no, these were great characters in the gang.
The gang.
The gang.
Mike, did you enjoy the gang? Do you have a preference over more companions versus less companions, sort of thing? How did it work dynamic wise?
I think so, and they sort of did work being introduced for just this episode and gone, because otherwise it just gets too big, and then you got nothing to do with most things. It's essentially that sort of ensemble, and it's like you do one thing and then you're done. And Chibnall doesn't really learn that in Flux anyway. Just introduce so many characters. It's like, what did they do? Nothing, whatever. But I did like the sort of dynamic that they had for here, and the enjoyment that they have of splitting them off. Then you have two opposing teams and then coming back together, which is fun. Queen Nefertiti is a good little adventure all to itself. Always good to have like historical characters like enter into Doctor Who, because people who would know their story, and you said there's a sort of mystery of what happened to her at a later date, and perfect time to have a Doctor Who episode of this is what really happened. It kind of like the Agatha Christie sort of all of a sudden she turns up out of nowhere and she's got amnesia. What happened? Doctor Who happened. There you go. Just putting little add-ins of history within. Randall is, you know, a big penis, just doing the misogyny. It's always fun, and then having a bit of a slap down. It's always fun. It's like, you're that character, and then it sort of is the Jurassic Park clever girl sort of character, and I did like the fact. I'll talk about the Williams later. I did like the fact that having Amy part of that team, and there was a little section that I actually quite like because round about this time, watching it for the first time, I was like, I do not care about Amy. She's dead to me after what she did last episode. But this one, the little conversation that they had is of talking about the queens. It's like, oh, are you Rory's queen? It's like, yes, I am. Don't tell him that, otherwise I'll be. It's a little bit of a humbling for her to say, yeah. I'm happy with Rory now. So I like the fact that it's sort of continuing the sort of the relationship that Rory and Amy have. It's still like, it's not perfect, but it's still like, it's kind of precious and all that. And with the Rory and Brian relationship, that's a bit of fun. You get to see Brian, where Rory gets his sort of mannerisms and all this stuff from Brian, like always having a foldable trowel in your pocket. It leads up to the always have a med kit because he's a nurse, and you could sort of have a little tell that maybe Brian was a bit disappointed that Rory was a nurse because nurses for women. And maybe that's a conversation that they had. It's like, oh, you know, I'm happy that you're assertive and all that stuff. I actually quite like the sort of character development that they have in this episode, and it is a shame that spoilers, we don't really see them ever again. I can't remember if Brian comes back. I'm talking about Titty and Randy.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I want
It
to
would be
Brian
a bit
again.
of a surprise if they do turn up. I can't remember.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah, and the Doctor being the Doctor, I like his. This is the Matt Smith Doctor at his best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about Solomon?
Yes, let's talk about Solomon, the villain, the antagonist of the piece, played excellently by David Bradley, as you mentioned earlier, Fulya. He's great at playing a villain. What can we say? And
he's good
here
at playing the Doctor.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Later.
That's right. Yeah. Was he in the 50th? Is that what you're referring to? Or
it was a 50th special and not necessarily the 50th.
Okay.
They did a bio thing where they were talking about the first Doctor and the first episode of the Doctor as well. And David Bradley played William Hartnell in it, which coincidentally paved the way of him becoming the first Doctor in the Power of the Doctor, the one that you saw, where he's at the cliff edge when Jodie's in her mind, and it's like,
yes,
oh, David Bradley, you're the first Doctor. This is cool. He also turns up in spoilers. Never mind.
Yes, another actor that's played more than one character on Doctor Who. He's really good in this episode. Solomon is definitely a good presence here, and clearly someone who doesn't care about rubbing the Doctor the wrong way. And the because I loved how the Doctor, he always approaches things with an open mind, pretty much, with the exception of Brian at the beginning of this episode, but we'll move on. But he's not, he's trying to bargain with him and understand him and what he's doing here, and he seems to sort of empathize with his situation about how the dinosaurs on the ship attacked him and he can't walk. And he offers to heal him and stuff, and then immediately Solomon decides to what's the right phrase? Basically just, I'm gonna be the one in control, and he gets one of the robots to shoot Brian non-fatally, and that obviously leads to that lovely scene with Brian and Rory, but yeah, immediately the Doctor then turns like, oh, okay, this is how you're gonna play. All right, Solomon, you can get fucked.
I don't do well with violence.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that was the moment Solomon signed his death warrant, I think.
Mhm.
or
But
maybe
then he
more
does. I was gonna say he does something a bit more worse later on.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. I hate
Yes.
this delay. I fucking hate this delay. It's doing my head in today. Sorry. Um, we're all on the same brainwave. It's okay. Yes, I was going to say, but yes, and then when he next talks about when we find out that obviously Amy finds out that the ship was a Silurian ship, but where are all the Silurians? And then we learn that Solomon took control of the ship and ended up killing them all, ejecting them all into space. And the Doctor is none too pleased with this. So yes, Fulya, he definitely fucked himself over by doing that. And I wasn't even mad because usually I don't like when the Doctor kills, and because he doesn't do it very often. Or sorry, doesn't kill, allows someone to be killed, I suppose is the more accurate phrase. He doesn't usually do that very often, and when it does, it really means something serious. And Solomon took a lot of lives, so I guess that's the universe balancing itself out in a way. I don't know, not really balanced, but yeah.
Just give it a little push.
Little push. But yeah. Solomon is not a good dude. And the scene with Nefertiti at the end when he's trying to be like, I'll take Nefertiti and I'll get out of your way. I won't, I'll let you guys try and escape, and I'll go on my way if you let me have her. And then, he basically is just like, yeah, you're my property now. Oh no. No, that's strike 3, man. You're out. Strike 3, you are out. Yeah. So pretty bad. The only thing about Solomon, I liked him as a the way he was written and performed and all of that. But you don't like him because he's a good villain. But what I enjoyed about him as well, really, was the 2 robots that he had. They were probably my favorite thing of the episode, to be honest. Just the just the cheery, sort of silly British voices coming out of them. They looked like a cross between Bumblebee and the aliens from The Fifth Element. If anyone gets the reference there. Yeah,
I can see that.
It made me laugh a bit. But yeah.
You know who voices them?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I was. Yeah, David Mitchell and Robert Webb. Yeah, I recognize David Mitchell, but Robert Webb, from his IMDb photo, I can't place him.
Mitchell and Webb.
Are they literally a comedy duo?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Peep Show.
I've seen. Oh, the Peep Show. Okay, yeah, right. Yep. Okay. I've definitely seen David Mitchell in something else though. That was.
I think it was like it's like a quiz show.
Maybe.
I've seen David Mitchell in like a quiz show or a
Oh,
trivia
has he
show.
been?
of some
Has he
sort.
been on? Has he been on QI? I feel like he's been on QI or something. I don't know.
David Mitchell,
Anyway.
he's on Would I Lie to You?
Would I lie to you? Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I think that
yes,
sounds
yes.
familiar.
Thank
yeah.
you. Yes. Yes.
And he also plays
Um,
Shakespeare in Upstart Crow, which is a good show.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I always meant to watch that. I never got around to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're hilarious. They do a great job. The voices are funny, and the dialogue they get to say is just fantastic. And just the idea that in this universe of Doctor Who, you can buy cheap droids and you actually get what you pay for. Like they're just bumbling buffoons. Like the fact that Brian and Rory can get and the Doctor can get past them easily. Just be. It was just great. So yeah,
We used to be faster.
yeah, just brilliant. Fulya, what were your thoughts on Solomon?
Yeah, look, Solomon was an interesting villain. He was very like he started off being like interesting to be like more in the sense of okay, he sort of started off as being kind of likable, but then when we get to the point where he ends up threatening, the Doctor's friends' lives and then mentioning the whole idea of the fact that he ended up wanting these dinosaurs because they're valuable. It made me think, oh, okay, this guy's just in it for the money. Like that's all it is for him. Whatever he can buy, whatever he can sell, the most valuable thing. Especially when he found out about Nefertiti and being like, hey, you've got the most valuable thing that I want. And I was just like, no, not Nefertiti. It can't be. And then when he mentioned it, and I'm like, no. So he quickly ended up being my I don't like you character.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. But he did it really well. I will say David Bradley did a great job in that role. And I kind of feel like he's sort of I don't know if it's just me, but he might be typecast as the bad guy kind of actor, sort of in a way. Like, because even though he wasn't really the bad guy in the Harry Potter franchise. His character was just, he's the caretaker of the school. It's not his fault that he's grouchy and he has to do all the things like he's like the janitor of the school or something.
Doesn't he? Yeah, but doesn't he kind of ally himself with like I don't know want to say Voldemort really necessarily, but like when Snape takes over the school and it all
and same
goes...
with what's her name in when was it the 5th film, Half-Blood Prince, I think it was.
Order of the Phoenix is the 5th one.
Oh, sorry, Order of the Phoenix. Yeah, Lady in Pink. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, Umbridge.
Umbridge, that's the one.
No, she is a villain.
Yes. Yeah,
She
no,
is a
but
villain.
like the fact that he ended up working. I don't know if he was doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was if Filch was just doing it because he was being told and he had no choice.
Yeah.
But anyway,
No,
let's
fair.
not tangent too much. But it's just like
yeah.
seeing David Bradley being like a villain, but more so in this particular episode was really cool. And it just like the amount of sinister you get from him, but it's not like, I don't know how to really describe it. It's like, it's not too sinister to the point where he's like, he's killing everybody and all that sort of thing. But it's that kind of, I don't know if I'm making sense, but it's that sort of like, words. I can't.
I mean, what, like the word antagonist is a good word for describing someone who's not an outright villain, but is just like, he's against your hero, the protagonist. He's the opposite.
Yeah.
The foil. Like he doesn't make him necessarily a bad guy. It's just like
Yeah.
this is our conflict.
Yes. So
Yeah.
there is that. Like he has his interests. He has his job that he needs to do. The Doctor doesn't like what he does and decides that he needs to go. And I agree with the Doctor. I will say I did not like some of the stuff he's done. Like he injured Rory's dad. He then decides to claim Nefertiti as his property. And then also, the fact that he killed all the Silurian. Not a great person. I'm just, no. So yeah, no. Solomon, very complex character, and just he was a great villain that I did not like.
Well said.
Contradicting words in a sentence.
No, that was
Yes,
that was well said. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, prepare for my word salad.
Yeah, let's go. Let's hear your word salad on Solomon, Mike.
Really good villain for just a oneer for the week. Because you can't really add too much if he would come back. Essentially, he's a poacher. He's a traitor or anything of that. And always conniving, always good. And just steps over so many people just to get what he wants. And just the drive that he has is sinister and just yuck. Just seeing people as property is just evil, and just being genocidal as well. And what really is clinging it for his demise at the end is him just begging. Instead of begging for his life, he says, well, anyone can be bought, so therefore, what do you want, Doctor? I can get you anything you want. So he hasn't learned anything. And I think that's probably drives the Doctor to do what he did, which is, usually I give you a chance, but I'm not giving you a chance because you're irredeemable. You are the worst possible person that I could meet. And you've met me. So goodbye. Oncoming storm. That's me. And it's a good little setup for what's going to happen next episode. Because I just remembered. David Bradley is always fun to watch. Love seeing him in what he does. Game of Thrones is roughly at the same time when this came out, so people know him from that as well. And just the sudden switch that he does when he becomes the first Doctor is quite remarkable, because he does look a lot like William Hartnell, and and my wife only knows him from At World's End, the Cornetto trilogy. So every time we see him, she says, Mad Basil. It's like, yeah, okay. Everyone has their first. So there you go. The robots. Now, this has sort of divided the fandom in a way. You either like them or you just hate them. It's like, no, this is stupid. It's too silly. Some people like them because it definitely harkens to like Douglas Adams sort of thing. Like, surely these robots need to be I like the fact that these robots are very unhumanesque, but their dialogue is very human. So I do like the sort of juxtaposition of that sort of thing. And I've never really watched Peep Show, and the only Mitchell and Webb skit that I know them from is the meme of them dressed up as SS soldiers in World War II, and David turns to him and says, "Are we the baddies?" it's like the realization is like, are we on the wrong side of history? And you get to see that meme like everywhere of someone who just realizes like, oh, I did a terrible thing. Are we the baddies? Yeah, I like that meme. Yeah. My feeling on what happens to him at the end, bit heavy-handed, dare I say. I do like a
Okay.
doctor that gives someone a chance.
Mm-hmm.
But having said that, it's always interesting when that does happen, but no one gets to see it. So this is sort of happens to be what the Doctor does do without a companion by his side, and that's always interesting. Like a lot of people think, well, since Runaway Bride with David Tennant and Catherine Tate and their first adventure of the Doctor taking out the Sycorax and the giant spider people,
Yeah.
and essentially he destroyed the last of their kind and everything, and since Turn Left, where if Donna wasn't there, the Doctor would die. So therefore, it's always important for the Doctor to have a companion. You can't really have the Doctor without a companion because who knows what they'll do? You know, Time Lord Victorious and all that thing. So that's always an interesting sort of dilemma that Doctor Who has, where the Doctor can't be by himself. He does say that sometimes I need to be by myself. No, you don't. No. Never. Even if he does do that, it doesn't last long.
No.
Yeah. But baddies will be baddies.
Baddies will, in fact, be baddies. You know, I'm trying to think about what else to talk about, but I feel like we've actually covered most of the episode at this point.
And there's
is my
the
time...
problem. There's not really much that happens. There's not
No.
not much dinosaur in a title that says Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. It's sort of got nothing really to do with dinosaurs.
No, I mean, I did kind of love and then also hate because did they kill the Triceratops? Because I loved the Triceratops and it looked like it died and I was not impressed.
I think it did.
Yeah, he died.
That was what I was referring to before about
Oh, yes.
Solomon doing something really bad
Yes,
later.
yes. Yeah, he's trying to get his way and yeah, that's when he's trying to get Nefertiti and the Doctor won't give her over and then he kills the Triceratops, right?
I'm going to kill your pet.
Yeah, that was sad because I really liked, you know, as hokey as it kind of was to, you know, see the Doctor and Rory and Brian kind of riding on this Triceratops and whatnot and having this sort of brief, sadly, relationship with this adorable thing. Yeah, it was sad to see that they decided to kill the Triceratops. Yeah, especially after they gave it a nickname. I'm like, how dare you? You can't.
Yeah.
You've made it real. You can't.
Don't name it because you
don't name it
to it.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. So that was sad. That was probably the that and the pterodactyls were probably the best use of you know, long extinct creatures that I've you know, I could say from this episode. Like there isn't a whole lot. Apparently I think they wanted to use a T-Rex in the episode, but I'm guessing that the budget didn't allow for a big T-Rex, so they just had a baby T-Rex.
You got a baby T-Rex and it was asleep on the floor. Yes.
That's a cute, dangerous monster. So cute. Just like sleeping on the floor. But yeah, apart from that, yeah, you're right. They didn't really use the dinosaurs too much. But it's just I feel like it's just fun and wacky, like a thing to do, I suppose. I wasn't mad at how little they were sort of used.
Yeah.
Because then the episode, like that was kind of the surface of the episode. Like that's the get you. That's how they reel you in. And then it's like, oh, actually, the Silurians were, with what, taking them back to Earth? Is that, or were they taking them to their planet? I can't remember what it was now.
I think
My
it's
brain's
because
collapsing.
yeah, I think the arc was they were getting away from the Earth because big meteor about to hit, and then it's like, okay, we'll save some dinosaurs, and then when that's all gone, we'll come back. But shit happens. Solomon
Shit,
happens.
indeed. Solomon happens. Yes. Yeah, unfortunate. But I liked how, the mystery of why the dinosaurs here, who was controlling the ship and blah blah blah, like how Amy was able to figure that out, as we mentioned earlier, by, just pressing buttons. And I like that they established earlier on that the ship's computer is literally just voice controlled, so you can just say what you want and it'll do it for you. So that makes it easy. But yeah, I liked, the kind of unraveling the mystery, I guess. Fully, do you have any thoughts on the dinosaurs other than what we've talked about already that you want to maybe mention?
I think so. Like, pretty much everything you've just said, I kind of agree with. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Mike,
If-
anything else?
If you were to have a dinosaur, what pet? Which dinosaur would you want for a pet?
Oh my god, I need to revert back to my 8-year-old self now because I was obsessed. I was obsessed with dinosaurs when I was a kid. Poor. I don't know. I mean, I've got a soft spot for this one dinosaur because my grandparents got it. I don't know what they did, but they got this book published, or they must have commissioned someone to make a book, but it's got like my name in it. Like I'm a character in the book, and it's like me in this. I think the dinosaur's called Archaeopteryx. It's like a feathered flying dinosaur, and I've always had a, I don't know, soft spot for that one because that's like right in the childhood. So I guess that would be my pet, this giant fucking bird. Just cause. What about you guys?
I didn't really get into dinosaurs when I was a kid, so I wasn't really, that engaged with it all. But I really liked I think it's the Brachiosaurus, the one with the long neck.
I like Brachiosaurs too. Yeah.
Yeah. Brachiosaurus was one of my favorites, and I think Triceratops was kind of a close second as well. So when this happened in the episode, I was just like, no.
I just like that this episode is trying to make me think of, like, when I think of Triceratops, something other than a giant pile of dino doo-doo from Jurassic Park. Because it's
I was gonna say this Triceratops did act quite like just a big old puppy.
Yeah. So cute. Yeah. Mike, do you have a favorite dino you wanna domesticize?
I'm sort of a basic bitch when it comes to this. It is a Triceratops. I just like the 3 horns. I'm a big big rhinoceros fan as well. Big hide, and a rhinoceros from multimedia. It's probably when Ace Ventura came out of one.
How could we forget? Cool. Well, we've kind of talked about the ending already. And most of the episode, so maybe we just wrap it there unless there's any final thoughts from you guys.
What do you think of the sneak peek of next week's episode?
Yeah, we got a sneak peek. There's a Western episode coming. The Doctor's got a cowboy hat on again. Should be interesting. American setting as well, so that's always a weird collision of media when it's like a British show, but there's American. I don't know. It's just a whole thing. So that'll
I
be.
think it
yeah,
actually
that'll be
is filmed
interesting.
in America, actually.
Oh, cool. Yeah. And yeah, the cyborg, like it's giving Star Wars vibes a little bit. This cyborg sort of bounty hunter sort of character, I guess, or sheriff. I'm not sure what he is yet.
He's a
But
cyborg.
I know he's a cyborg. Yeah, I got that part.
Cyberman.
Cyberman. Yes. Yeah, you guys have both seen that episode, so you know what happens.
I've forgotten.
Yeah,
I've
great.
forgotten too, actually.
Good. Nice.
All right,
Yeah,
we're all going into this fresh.
we're going in fresh next week.
But will we?
Cool.
Because something happens.
Oh yeah, because
Into
next week
Doctor Who.
we will be taking a break from Talking Who because this week the first 3 episodes of Ironheart are dropping. 3 episodes. So we will be binging and talking about them next week on the show. So you got that to look forward to. And I'm yeah. I hope it's a good show. I don't know. I trust Ryan Coogler.
I was gonna say, did you
But-
watch the little sneak peek thingy on Disney Plus of Ironheart?
No, I haven't seen it. I think I'm just gonna go in blind. Like I've
Yeah,
only
go
seen
blind.
I've only seen the trailer that we talked about a few weeks ago now. So yeah, but yeah, thanks for pointing that out.
I was gonna say it doesn't, because I watched it. It doesn't like spoil anything new that we didn't see in the trailer. It's essentially some of the stuff you see in the trailer,
sweet.
just some behind the scenes stuff and interviews
Oh, cool.
with like the lead actor and Ryan Coogler, and yeah. I think it's like a few minutes. It's not long at all. It's like less
Okay.
than 5 minutes. Yeah.
All right, could be worth a look. Thank you.
Yeah.
Check that out. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that's it. That's the show. We're done. Popcorn Culture's done. Talking Who's done. That was
Time to
that was it.
materialize out of here.
Yes. Our thoughts on Series 7, Episode 2, Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. Hope you guys enjoyed that discussion. Until next time, a 1, a 2, a 3. And
that
was a
was a
podcast
called
Fred. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky for the latest Fred content.
If you'd like to listen to Fred the Alien, you can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts.
If you'd like to watch Fred the Alien, you can head over to youtube.com/Fred the Alien Productions. And if you're watching us right now, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified of future goodness. And if you're watching us live over on Twitch, make sure to give us a follow on your way out. Twitch.tv/Fred the Alien Twitch.
Yes, I've been a Kendall Richardson.
I've been a Fulya and Michael.
And I've been the clever girl himself, Michael Lister.
And you just experienced a podcast
called
Fred.
Remember to eat beef.
Remember, Freddy lives, Loki dies, the Doctor is in, and Riri versus Magic.
Yes, Riri versus Magic. How will it go?
Technology
No one knows.
and magic. What did Thor say? It's one and the same.
Make sure to look after yourself and your mental health, everyone.
Yes. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, laters, gators, and
See.